Um, I might mention, if you're a first time viewer on my channel, I'm an old man. I'm 82. And I've been looking at some of my videos. And by dang, I kind of look old. I act old, and I can't help it because I am old. I ramble on about stuff I don't know. But I am old. And I'm pretty much confined. I can walk a little bit, but not much. And I'm prone to fall. And when I fall, remember that commercial that was on TV about the woman fell, and she said, "Hell, I fell and I can't get up." They're advertising that little button you push to get help. Well, I can't get, most of the time I can't get up. I used to couldn't get up when I fell. But ever since I got COVID, it's pretty much done me in. And I just thought I'd mention that stuff. It's just, and I got a scooter, a handicapped scooter, but right now it's pretty much broke down. They came out almost 5 weeks ago. Tuesday will be 5 weeks. They looked at it, made some notes, and they'll get back with me. But they couldn't give me no time frame. The VA is good in certain respects, and I am a veteran. But when it comes to getting something fixed like a wheelchair, I need a new wheelchair. Because my arm is tore up. I don't know if you can see. I got places on it. It's got screws sticking through the armrest where I wore out all the covering on it and everything. And I don't know when they'll get my scooter going. And without the scooter, I am homebound. I can't get, as far as I go is the deck. If I go off the deck, I have to have somebody push me down the ramp in my wheelchair. And then I can't go do much. But that's pretty much the story right now. And I've got cabin fever. I'm going nuts. I was sitting here the other day and something popped into my... I'm following this transgender stuff a lot, mostly because I don't understand it. I think I do, but no, I don't. But I got to thinking, Bruce Jenner, well, it's not Bruce anymore, it's Caitlyn Jenner. Now, Bruce, I have to say Bruce Jenner had a daughter, or maybe 2 daughters, I don't know. And I got to thinking about some silly thoughts. If one of them daughters has kids, is Bruce gonna be their grandpa or their grandma. That's what I thought. What will they call him? Will they call him Granddaddy or will they call him Grandmama? I don't know. I wish I could talk to Caitlin face to face and ask her about that. But yeah, well, I don't get it. I asked my grandsons the other day. I said, boys, what if I decided to be a transgender and identified as a lady? Would you still call me Poppy or would you call me Mama or something like that? I don't know where these thoughts come from. Hell, I'm 82 and I ain't never been this old before, so there's a lot of strange things going on in my head. But yeah, I would love to talk to a transgender. But I'll tell you what, some of these transgenders, it seems like to me if they're going to be trans, some of them says they're transgender, but they look like a man. And they got a beard and all this stuff. So that's why I would have a hard time of saying ma'am to a person standing there with a beard saying he's a woman. I seen one thing one time on TV. This man was in a convenience store and the clerk referred to him as yes sir or no sir or something like that. And the guy that's a trans, he flipped out. It's ma'am, you call me ma'am, and he got a beard. Oh my Lord. I don't understand it, folks, I really don't. And I don't. Well, I'm not gonna get on the transgender stuff. I watch a lot of stuff going on with that. I don't get it. Yeah, but what would Bruce's grandchildren call him? Grandma or Grandpa? I don't know. I'd sure like to ask him that. What's his thoughts on it? I don't know. I don't know. You know, I mentioned the other day on the video about here's 10 envelopes. I opened one, all from the VA. Well, wait a minute. This one here is from Chase. What's Chase doing sending me a? Let me look at that. Oh, that's to Jennifer. I wonder if she knows. Oh, no, she don't want it. She wrote something on the back of that for me. It's got my, anyway. God, looks like they would do, you know, that's $5 worth of postage that they pay when they could have just sent it all in one and whoops. Whoops, knocked my light down. Knocked my light down. See if it'll be all right. Yeah, I guess it is. Anyhow, that's my thoughts. I screwed up my garden the other day. I sprayed malathion on my peppers and my tomatoes and cucumbers. And the next day, I had forgot that I had sprayed them already. And the next day, I sprayed them again. And it killed all my cucumbers. And it done a number on my tomato plants. Didn't hurt my pepper plants, but it hurt the tomatoes and cucumbers. So all I've got right now is my pepper plants. And so folks, people that tell me I got a green thumb, it don't feel so green right now. It feels pretty stupid. That's another thing about being old. I forget stuff. And I see these commercials on TV a lot. I even see them on YouTube channels, ads about being tinnitus. You know what tinnitus is? That's where you have that ringing and hissing in your ear and it never goes away. I don't hear it, but if I stop and think about it and I'm just listening, do I hear that ringing? Oh yeah, it's ringing like crazy. There's nothing that I know of that I can do about it. But they're saying that a person that has it's hard of hearing is more prone to getting dementia and stuff like that because they feel isolated, because you don't hear, there's something going on with my hearing aid here. Now the VA called the other day, wanted me to come in there and pick up. They got me another hearing aid for my left ear because when I was in the hospital, something happened to my other hearing aid. Well, I'm wanting an appointment to see what's going on. I don't know how to control I know how to make it go louder sometimes, and sometimes I don't. But, yeah, they say tinnitus make people prone to feel isolated, to feel alone. And I do feel alone a lot because I can't hear in normal conversation. I can be out when my scooter's working and I get out and I talk to people and they're talking and telling me stuff, but I can't understand what they're saying. But when I'm recording it and I get home and I play it back and I can hear what they're saying, it's loud enough that I can hear it. But there's a lot of and these people come on there with ads and stuff, and I'm trying to slur my speech again. I had a small stroke a while back. But I can play it back on the video here and I can understand it. But I have to be close to the speaker. But there's a lot of advertising on the ads and stuff that's misleading. There's an ad that comes on right now about metformin. And it comes on, are you still taking metformin even though it was recalled? Well, that's saying there's something wrong with it. They recalled it and you shouldn't be taking it. But they got some miracle cure on there that they said will take care, do a whole lot better than what metformin. But yes, some of the metformin was recalled. It was recalled because some of that was being manufactured in another country. and the way they were doing it, the formulation of the formula and everything for that wasn't right. That's why it was recalled. Metformin, the regular metformin, there's nothing wrong with it other than it's too bad you have to take it. I would like to get off of it. There's several things. Gabapentin. I'm on gabapentin, and when I take my meds, when I take my meds, I have to set this thing up with pills for 7 days. I have some I take in the evening, some I take in the morning. The ones I take in the morning is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, including my vitamin. 10 in the morning, and in the evening, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it's 6. I would like to get off of metformin. I would like to get off of gabapentin. What else is there? There's gabapentin and metformin are the main ones I wish I didn't have to take. It just seems like to me when they first started me on metformin and gabapentin, it seems like instead of being better or just being the same, it didn't happen. It got worse. Now, what's up with that? It gets worse. Matter of fact, I wasn't having no symptoms other than when I was diagnosed with diabetes type 2, it was because I was watching my wife take her blood sugar test and everything, and she just took mine for the heck of it. It was high. Next day she checked it again, it was high. And for about 4 days it was high. The next day it was normal. Her doctor, she was telling her doctor about it, and he told her I need to get in there and see him. So I went in there to see him, and sure enough, he says, you're diabetic. So I went from that. I wasn't having any symptoms of any kind, other than my sugar was high when I tested it. And then all of a sudden, after he started me on meds, I started having symptoms. So what does that tell you? I wasn't sick till he put me on meds, if I'm remembering it right. Now, I don't remember a lot of stuff, and you know, and I repeat myself a lot. Sometimes I'll be in the living room or the kitchen, and I'll think of something I need to do on a video or make a note, and I come in here to make the note of it, to write it down, and I can't remember what the heck it was that I was wanting to make a note of. I might think of it later on, but come in here, I forget it. Some people, you know, they say, are you afraid of dying? No, I'm not afraid of dying because if I die, I'm dead, I'm gone. And I ain't worried about nothing. But if I get sick and lay up in the hospital and can't do nothing, or go to a nursing home, I worry about that. I worry about what if I get. I'm gonna say it, but I know I'll hear something about it. What really worries me, if I get dementia real bad or Alzheimer's, and I don't have enough sense to kill myself, suicide, because I wouldn't want to hang around like that. But I know that I know, like my mother-in-law, she had Alzheimer's real bad. She didn't even know she was in this world. She just didn't know nothing. I don't want to get like that. But at what point do you know you're going off the deep end? Alzheimer's is a terrible thing. Terrible. I looked at some video of Ronald Reagan back when he was running for president, and he pretty much won both of them 4-year terms with landslide. I think Reagan was a wonderful person, but after he left the presidency, he got Alzheimer's. And that is so sad to see that wonderful, intelligent man lose his mind. Nancy never brought him out in public after he got Alzheimer's. And same thing with Joe Biden. And I'm not a Joe Biden fan, but it's sad to see some of the bloopers he's making and everything, And the other day he was talking about something, and then he mentioned the 54 states. We only have 50 states. We don't have 54 states. And then there was another thing that he was doing that was another gaffe. You can tell he's losing it. And I do not like Kamala Harris. I do not. And I'm scared to death something's going to happen to Joe, and she'll become president before his term's up. I can't believe they're talking about letting Joe Biden run again for election in 2 more years, because he's out of it. That's sad, really sad. And I wonder if he's aware of it or not. I don't know. But it is what it is. I don't like politics. And I got to thinking, I was born in 1941. Roosevelt was president. Roosevelt died in 45. Truman was president. When Truman went out, well, let me tell you something about Truman. When he was running for re-election, he was running I think the guy's name was Thomas Dewey. And they were, everybody was watching the polls and everything, and Dewey was winning. And he was so far ahead of Truman that Truman went to bed, assuming he probably would wake up in the morning and vote out of office. But what happened, and the newspapers already printed the headline, Dewey wins. Big mistake. Truman got up the next morning, he got hold of a paper, and then found out, hey, he won the election, and he was holding up that paper that said Dewey wins. I wasn't old enough to appreciate that then. I wasn't following it for nothing. And then when Truman went out, Eisenhower, World War II general, Eisenhower become president. Nixon was his vice president. And when Eisenhower went out, it was Kennedy. Kennedy was running against Nixon. Well, Kennedy won. Then Kennedy was assassinated in 1963, and Lyndon Baines Johnson took office from that. And he was elected once, but he wouldn't run again. And was it Nixon? I think Nixon got in then. Spiro T. Agnew was vice president. Now this is my long time memory working. My short time memory, I don't know if it was when Nixon resigned on that Watergate thing, Gerald Ford become president. He took over from Nixon because Nixon resigned. Gerald Ford took over. Gerald Ford was the vice president, but he was only vice president because Spiro T. Agnew was into some kind of mischief or something, and he had to resign. So let's see who. Now my short time memory sucks. It really does. And you know, I think about how rough it is on me right now. It's just no fun. Maybe if I had money to get out and do stuff, it might be different. But my golden years suck. And when I see people, younger people that's making a lot of the same mistakes that I made, it makes me feel so bad for them. They just don't know. They just don't know. I feel bad for my daughter. I didn't raise my daughter and my son right. Of course, my son died when he was 14. I didn't raise her right. And that's my fault and my wife's fault. I don't know what, I don't know if she got, I don't know if she suffers from not having enough self-esteem about herself or not. I don't know. But A lot of people say, I got no regrets. Boy, I got regrets. Big time. Big time. My biggest regret is when I sent that girl, that 17-year-old girl, to go pick my son up at school because he had a doctor's appointment, and she pulled out in front of a Greyhound bus and got hit in the side, killed both of them instantly. That's my biggest regret. People say, well, you don't know, it could have happened if it was this, and that. I hate it when somebody says, well, it's time to go. There's never no time to go. Nobody's never got a time to go. They're going to go, but it's not like a set time, I don't think. That's my belief. That was a terrible day. That just crushed my life. That was the first thing. When that state trooper stood there and told me, he said, your son has passed away. First thing out of my mouth was, this is going to kill my wife. She's going to be really hurting. And she was. And I remember when we had the funeral, we had it with him and the girl both funeral at the same time. She was in one casket and he was in the other casket, and that was his girlfriend. When the service was over and everything, the guy from the funeral home, the funeral director, he was standing there, and my wife didn't want to go. She did not want to leave that room. She kept saying, I don't want to leave him here. I don't want to leave him. And the funeral director, he looked at my wife and grabbed her by the shoulder, and he said, honey, he said, you're not leaving him. He's here, right in your heart. And, well, in a sense, he is, but he's no longer there, you know. Man, we had such a tough time even doing anything with his clothes, with his bed, and just his bed stayed just like he left it that morning he went to school. His bed stayed just like he left it for about a month. Lord have mercy. I don't. You know, he used to take these little toy soldiers, little plastic soldiers or men, and he'd make a little parachute out of the behind you and tie strings to it and tie it to that man, and he would throw it up in the air and let it drift down. They worked pretty neat. And at some point, and I don't know when it happened, he threw a little soldier up in the air and it got caught in the tree. And it's hanging up in a tree. I didn't even know it was there. And I was out there by that tree just reflecting and just really feeling down in the dumps. And the little toy soldier, all of a sudden it fell out of the tree and it drifted right down in front of me. and landed on the ground. That was, I was really sad to see it. But in a way, I was happy to get it. Yeah, the toy soldiers come drifting down. I don't know which was worse, when my son died or when my wife died in 2007. My son died in 1986. They were both hard. We were married 48 years when she passed away. And she was young. She was 63. Man. All right, that's enough of me rambling on. If you need people, just bear with me. I'll get better when I can get out on my scooter and start getting around and stuff. But right now, I'm just trapped here at the house. And I mean trapped. But anyway, that's my story. And I'm sticking to it. Wow. I'll see you in the next one, folks. See ya.